Russian President Vladimir Putin signs papers officially annexing 4 provinces in eastern Ukraine. Now, the move is a violation of international law. And this comes after President Biden spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and unveiled a $625 million security assistance package for the war-torn country. So far, the U.S. has committed to more than $17.5 billion to aid Ukraine since the start of the Biden administration. So we're going to dig in to this. We want to bring in CBS News reporter Mary Ilyushina. She is in Riga, Latvia. Mary, really glad that you are joining us this morning. Let us start, though, with this, I guess, annexation, the sort of official annexation of these regions in Ukraine. The referendum has been called fraudulent, but the Kremlin continues to move ahead with this even as they're losing ground in these areas. What exactly does this signing into law, the annexation, what does it mean for Russia and what does it mean for Ukraine?
Good morning, Emery. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The contradiction is quite clear here because the Kremlin seems to be a little bit far away from the battleground reality when they're saying that these territories are now Russia. And even today, the Kremlin spokesperson was asked, does he see a contradiction here? He said, no, because all these areas will be brought back and Russia is there forever. But, for Ukraine, they've said repeatedly, and they're kind of proving that this changes nothing for them because they are continuing their counteroffensive. It gained steam, not in only one direction, because we've seen really significant gains in the east of the country a couple of weeks ago, but also in the south, where they broke through Kherson. And that sort of sent a lot of even pro-Kremlin, pro-war figures in Russia into a frenzy because they're really concerned that they can't hold ground in territories that they have been pretty secure in for months.
So let me ask you about something else that's been sort of circulating on social media, what people are calling a so-called nuclear train. We know that Vladimir Putin sort of issued these veiled nuclear threats, but how seriously to take him is, up in the air. When we call this a nuclear train, there aren't weapons on there, but what is this?
Well, this train that appeared on the video, it does belong to sort of strategic forces of Russia. It's quite unusual that it even appeared on social media and somebody was able to film it. And some experts have sort of cast doubt on just the origins of the video, just basically saying that the fact that somebody was able to film that may be an indication that it's Russia portraying it to say, like, look, we're actually reminding you that we have this nuclear arsenal. But I think what's reassuring is that the Pentagon has said that they don't believe that this is an escalation that a lot of people are watching for right now. And probably most reassuring is that they said they don't believe this is reason for the U.S. to change its nuclear standing. So far, it's not entirely clear what exactly is on that train, but there's no, according to the Pentagon, no cause for immediate concern or panic about this.
So back to this attempt to annex portions of Ukraine. When the Kremlin announced that they were holding these referendums and the outcome of the referendums, the Biden administration said, well, we're going to slap them with more sanctions. And part of the sanctions is putting a cap on the price of Russian oil. There seems to be some sort of an agreement with EU leaders. But I guess the question is, what about OPEC and Russia's influence when it comes to OPEC? Is this going to actually work?
Well, that's the big question now because EU has a really tough job. First of all, it needs to persuade India and China, which buy a lot of Russian oil, to sort of jump in on this cap and not buy oil that is above that. And also, there are reports that Russia and Saudi Arabia are gearing up to cut the production, which would, again, hike the prices really high. And that would be a pretty big blunder for the Biden administration because they have been lobbying the Saudi Arabian government to actually not do that and not try to increase the price. So that would actually help the price cap. But so far, it seems like Saudi Arabia is not going to do that. And so essentially, it's going to be very tricky, first of all, to implement that because that would need all the people who are selling, ensuring all these tankers that are bringing Russian oil to the destination to make sure that they're not being sold above this price cap. And also, and also making sure that all the other players in the world who are interested in Russian oil abide by this. So it's very, very difficult to actually implement.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought if they put a cap on the price of Russian oil, that makes Russian oil cheaper, I would think, which would make it more attractive to people who don't really care where they're getting their oil from. Mary, always great talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.